Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Mike Toledo, and I'm here with Daniel Grom, John Hiley, and we got Vince, who's on the road right now on his phone. He'll be joining in, so if he sounds like he's in a little bit of a cave, he's actually in his man cave car on his way home from a long day in LA to Long Beach. So
didn't want to miss this one.
Here we go, guys.
All right.
Hold on a second. Forgot to put into our famous intro here.
Say, kids, what time is it? PDR tool time.
There we go. It's
that's
PDR
all good.
tool time, guys. So
What's up, guys?
what's a crack a lacking?
Yeah.
How you been?
Man, I've been busier.
Long time no see.
I've been
Long
busier
time.
than a flea on a hound dog, dude. Or happier than a flea on a hound dog. Well, stressed like I don't know.
So I'm
All
a
over.
little jealous, man. Vince has been in Las Vegas.
By the pool.
Absolutely. You know what? I said, it's spring break. I grabbed the wife and kid. I said, let's get out of here for a few days. And we split and headed out to Vegas to one of our favorite hotels downtown. And we went and caught the Cubs and Mets spring training for a day and had a blast. Sat by the pool for 3 days. My feet
Awesome.
up. Sunburned.
Good for you. Good for you. You
Nice.
deserve it.
Yeah.
Where was the weather like there, Vince?
It was a little
everybody
chilly.
jealous.
Well, coming from California, it was a little chilly. It was in the 70s. Low 70s, and I think we had 85 by Saturday morning, so that was a good pool day. And there was plenty of action at the pool on Saturday. They had a DJ come in, and everyone was dancing like fools and drinking cocktails. And my new favorite drink is a Daniel Grom creation. Not really his creation, but the painkiller. I had to make painkillers.
Those are
They
good.
had to go online. They
Nice.
had to go online and figure out how to make a painkiller, and they did.
And
pretty
they
good.
made it. Really?
They did.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, the painkiller is awesome.
2 painkillers, and you're not feeling anything.
Good for you.
That's right.
That's the point. Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
see
good,
here.
man.
I've actually I took the decals off my dent box. 311,000 miles on that thing. It's been through hell and back. Actually, not even any hell. Never give me any hell, dude. So
You traded in?
no, I didn't trade it in. So
You're
I'm
getting
so-
some offers already on it.
I
aren't you?
am. I'm not getting offers. People are asking. They know. I think the 300,000 mile scares them, which would probably scare anybody.
Yeah.
But you figure drop a new motor and that thing's going to cost you maybe $2,000, brand new one, and you're going to get another 300,000 out of it. I mean, but it doesn't have any wear or signs of it going out anyways. You know what I mean?
Right.
These Toyotas, I heard they go like 500,000 miles, but I mean, I'm not saying it will, but other than that, the car is clean. There's no dents. There's no scratches.
So have you
There better not
decided
be
on-
any dents.
Have you decided on the new dent time vehicle? What's that?
I already have it. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What is it?
RAV4, 2016 RAV4. It looks
Nice.
like a little stealth, like I would say a higher lifted up XB, but not for long. So
Yeah.
I'll be dropping that
Cool.
thing, and I already mocked it. I had a picture of it, and so I put the Dent Time logo on it. I went into Photoshop. I tinted the windows. I put black wheels on it, and I showed everybody. Here's my new car. And this one guy goes, "Man, I wish it'd look pretty cool if it was lowered." So 10 minutes later, I went into Photoshop, dropped it, put it in there. I go, "How's this?" He goes, "How'd you do that?" So that's how I'm trying to go for on that car. But it looks good.
Nice.
It's coming along, man.
For the Scion XB, dude, all you got to do is put highway miles, man. Just put highway miles on there. That's what everybody.
That's what it is.
Anytime you got a freaking high mileage vehicle, why is it? It's highway miles.
Yeah. Well,
Like that makes
So
a difference.
well, I'll tell you what, guys. Honestly, my car, I really wanted the Ford Transit. Really did. I knew I could deck that out and do whatever. But come on, guys. You guys
The
hesitate?
RAV4 is sexier.
No, well, it's not. It's a pretty nice car, but I would have a lot more room in the Transit and do a lot more cool things inside of it. But
Sure.
am I going to get 300,000 miles out of it with no problems? I don't think so. I just don't. So I bought another Toyota. Besides, Gene Fetty has to be probably one of the most honest guys in the world. And he told me he at 80,000, or he shared on Facebook, he said 80,000 miles, he's already had to replace the transmission. That's not good. So that's what changed my mind. That's what changed my mind, really, to be honest with you. So, yeah, the Ford Transit.
Got it. Transit. Wow. Yeah. See, I'm holding out for a diesel version of the Ford Transit. Then I'll be the first one in line if they came out with the diesel.
Yeah. Yep.
Yo, a buddy of mine, another local dent guy here, Dennis. He rolled up in this freaking giant Transit, man. I don't even think it was a Transit. It was, I don't know, it was this massive version. Like you could literally, if you could imagine this, a giant Transit that you could pull a Transit in the back of it.
And was it one of those massive, giant, like
it was
like
pretty cool
lunchbox looking thing?
But the thing was, it was legit. I mean, this guy works outside, and it had a freaking full-on awning on the side. It had he had his full-size Mac toolboxes in there. Like had a freaking ramp that came down, like an aluminum ramp that just rolls out the back and hits the ground. And he was like rolling his boxes out. I mean, this dude setup was like having a little motorhome on wheels to do dents out of. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he could,
Where did you see this guy?
He came to my shop. Yeah, he's another local dent guy. He owns the Dent Smith up here.
Okay,
and
you need
cool
to take
guy.
a picture of that and post it.
Look, actually, yeah, I can do that. But like, he could put a full size pipe bender in there to bend his own rods, and put a freaking lathe in there and lathe them. I mean, it could be a mobile dent guy machine shop. It could be a tool masterpiece. These vehicles could be.
Oh, dude, check this out. So I had this guy who's a horseshoer pulls up in this truck. He just bought it, $100,000 horseshoe truck, and the whole cab was. The whole outside was engine turned. You know what engine turning looks like?
No.
No.
Oh, you know what you mean.
You'll see it on
that's almost like sand, like sand.
I know what you're saying. Like a little grinder, like a grind here and a grind there.
Yeah.
But done really nice. And he opens this thing up. He had a microwave. He had a stereo. He had a forge, so he could heat up horseshoes. But I was like, oh man, this would be a great mobile tool maker.
Well, you know what a good show would be is some of the best. Like, what would you? I guess people can send in what they think, but what would the best ultimate setup be for a mobile? You know what I mean? What would you want? I've been looking at this drawer setup. It's by Tech. It's very expensive though. It's about $2,200. Huh?
Decked.
Huh?
Are you talking? It's called decked.
No. It's like mainly for guys who want to store their guns and stuff in their car, and they don't want to get them stolen.
Okay.
And it slides out, this drawer in the back, and it can fit. They custom fit it to any vehicle you have or SUV.
Well, Steve over at Ultra, he was working on something for the back of the trucks.
Yeah, I mean,
cars.
Dude, I'd want a drawer.
I got something.
In my full size pickup, I got a drawer system called Decked, and it's that high in density plastic. And it's two big drawers that slide out, and it takes about half of the bed depth in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
But these drawers slide out. It's really well made, and it has tie downs on top of it, so you can still use it as a bed of truck. But you have these two drawers that slide out, and they lock. And then they have dividers inside of it, and they also have these waterproof little suitcases that fit inside perfectly. And that's what I've got in the back of my pickup, and it actually works really, really well. I like it.
Hey, you know, guys, speaking of cool vehicles, I want to tell you one of the funniest vehicles I've ever heard of somebody showing up somewhere in. Ryan Hampton told me this. He said he was at a body shop, and no kidding, the guy actually shows up there at Hail Tech driving a U-Haul van. So he shows up driving a U-Haul van, and Hampton, you know, it was like the whole cliche about dent guys having a rough winter. He said that this guy slept in the van beside the body shop for the first week of the storm.
Well, that wasn't Dan Ontroff.
So that was like his That was his camper, man. He rolled up. He had his tools in it. That's like the trucks in the shop, man. You're down to your last, $50. Hailstorm hits. You got to make it across country. You dig up some change for gas, and you roll there, and you run out of gas as you pull up into the body shop parking lot. And you got your U-Haul van. You got your tools. You're like, man, I have to make this work. And I bet there's a success story behind that one.
Well,
So
go ahead.
if our listeners haven't figured it out, this whole show is about rigs.
Hey, okay,
Yeah, it's actually
listen,
not.
I got the website. It's called truckvault.com. Really bitching.
I had that for
Nice.
my Silverado. It went over. It was intended for guns.
Yeah.
It went over the humps in the back of my Silverado. I had one on each side.
What'd you think
That's
of
where
it?
I stored my. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
thinking.
didn't
I want
travel
to get.
around with guns, but I
No.
had long rods that stacked. Were at the top.
Well, if
They
anybody's
had all
looking,
sorts of configurations.
yeah, if anybody's looking for something to put in the back of their SUV or truck or whatever, and it's got a cool drawer system, truckvault.com. Check that out. That's something I think I'm going to get for my RAV4. So
Nice.
Yeah, and if you're like most dent guys and you look at Facebook pictures, man, you can load up all your guns in off season and shoot ducks.
well, that's what I'm saying. I probably half these guys are already on there right now checking it out, what we're talking about.
Right.
So I'll tell you what,
Right.
I can use that right now. I'll tell you what.
Well,
I always talk about Jeremy Carroll. I talk about that with him, and then I worked with another guy from Missouri. He was funny as heck, man. We was always talking about you son bitch. So anyhow, so what's this show really about?
We are talking about the R&I tools. And we're going to do a little segment here where we're going to talk about our favorite R&I tools. And we are going to move on into a little bit of, I've got a horror story for you guys. I got a little bit of a horror story, and I know you guys probably have some R&I jobs that went south on you. I would love to hear, I want to hear something bad. I want to hear something where you guys caught a car on fire or screwed up a headliner that cost $800 or blasted out, a glass that you should have R&I'd instead of putting your tool up against it,
Mhm.
So I want to hear a little bit of some horror stories, but I also just start the show off by talking a lot about our favorite R&I tools. So Daniel,
Well,
what you got, brother?
Mike has the ultimate horror story with that Maybach. So
Yeah,
you should go last.
I'm definitely gonna talk about that one. That's for sure.
Because
I'm
you'll
already
beat us all
excited.
with the Maybach. So yeah.
I
Go
haven't
ahead,
heard
Daniel.
that story. Okay. So, R&I tools. Okay. So I have lots of R&I tools, but you have to boil it down to, okay, what are your basic? If you're going to grab just 3 tools or 5 tools, what do you grab first? So my number one is my Steck, and it's called the Super Grip Trim Puller. And Ultra sells this for $26 on their website. And it's like a plier, but it's got notches in it.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm looking at your notes here, and you're gonna have to send me links to all these because I'm pulling it up. I can't read it because it's so blurry. It's so small. So just let you know.
Okay, sorry. But Ultra has this on their website. It's a Steck tool.
Uh-huh.
You can find it probably at 100 other different places. But this is, I think, the best clip remover.
Agree.
Do you agree?
I
Do you
do.
guys all have this?
I do. I have.
All have it. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I
First
do
tool,
not
first
have
tool I
that.
grabbed.
You don't have
Oh,
it, John?
No, I have I bet you my R&I tech has it though.
Okay.
I was just waiting to say that. I
You
bet
prima
my
donna.
R&I tech has that one. So
Yeah, this is by far. It's got great leverage. It grabs onto it, so when you pull the clip off or the hood liner clip or whatever it is, you've got a hold of it.
Well,
You know,
it's
it
got like
grabs
teeth
it.
with a hole around each notch, so
Yeah.
so it can grab like the neck of it and the collar of it without breaking it, like so you
Yeah.
can yank it.
Now,
So,
what I did is I customized mine a little bit. I put
of
mine
course,
to a
course.
sander,
Mhm.
and I sanded it down so it's nice and sharp on the end, so I can slide it into real tight clips. Just a little bit of sanding there, but this tool is badass. If you guys don't have this tool, um, spend the $26. It'll be
I
the
wish you
best
guys could
deal.
see him visually, you listeners, because he is looking at this tool like it's his baby, dude. I mean, the way he's
It,
looking at it, man, he's just like this tool, and
yeah,
I sanded it down very sharply.
he's getting
My
awful
precious.
lusty,
You know
Did,
what?
hey,
lusty
That's
with it.
go ahead, Vince.
that is my baby. I mean,
Right?
I have 3 of them.
Uh,
I have one in the shop, one in my toolbox, and a reserve one in case I lose one.
Yeah, you can't
And
go
all my
home.
That's
Jax
big
have one.
spender for you.
You can't go R&I anything without that, dude. No way, no way. But
No way
but
whatsoever. It blows away everything. Snap-ons and Matcos and everything. It's
but
the number one.
here's what's the first thing that Daniel Grum's gonna do to your tool, no matter what, dude?
You modify it.
Yeah, he's gonna modify it, and what he's gonna do to modify it first?
Grinder.
Exactly. I'm gonna take it to the grinder, and I'm gonna sand it. I'm gonna make it a little bit sharper.
But Daniel, I'm gonna up you one on it. I use
Okay.
it to. I still use a wool pad when I polish out, color sanding things or marks, and I use it to clean off my wool pad. So besides grinding it, throw it on your wool pad every time you need to go clean it off, and to clean off the wool pad, and you'll shine that sucker up, and you'll have no problems, potentially scratching paint because they are a little bit sharp on the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, man, have you guys ever seen somebody have a deburring machine?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, this guy, I'm working on my tool. I can't say what it is, and you guys know what it is, but I can't say what it is yet. But we're doing a few things. We're making some mods, and he chops it down, and he goes over to this giant sander that's a big sanding belt that runs up and down, and deburrs this thing in front of me. And I just thought that was pretty cool, So little by little, I'm telling you, I'm adding machinist stuff into my shop. I am
Yeah.
just so freaking. I think it is so awesome. Hey, have you guys seen the new tool bender that's at Harbor Freight? The one that has an actual porta power connected to it, the new bar bender.
No.
No.
Yeah. I walked in. So I'm over there dreaming inside of Harbor Freight, of course, because I'm a tightwad, and I'm looking at all the different machining tools, and they literally have, the old school bar benders that you stand up and you put your bar in it and you kind of bend them around that big bender thing. Well, Harbor Freight has something now that's it's basically a porta power that has different size horseshoes on it depending on the bend, and you just stick the bar in there and you porta power it up, and it actually bends your rods for you.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially for when you're out in the middle driving vehicles or cars and you don't have a bender or something on your vehicle.
Now, John, did you actually buy one yet? Because I think those are intended for conduit, and I don't know if it's going to bend our gauge.
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
looking at it. So it was up there beside the pipe benders, so and the bar benders. So I'm not sure if it'll
take one of
bend
your
our
tools-
gauge.
Take
But-
one of your tools into the store and try it out.
Well, the crazy thing is, it was the biggest porta power I'd ever seen, the biggest jack that I'd ever seen. I mean, this thing was the size of the cylinder was probably about as big around as a softball, if you can imagine it.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm hoping it'll do the job.
All right. So who's next? John.
Vincey.
Oh, Vince, what's your next R&I tool?
Well, the Steck tool, to be honest with you, a small pick set would probably be second on my list. The Steck tool is my first. Small pick sets whenever you're taking off door handles or grommets, things like that. You got to get that tiny little pick set in there to pick the cover off.
Now,
before
do you
get
have
those
a
screws in.
brand preference?
To be honest with you,
Harbor Freight.
I've gone cheap and I've gone expensive, and I tend to go cheap on these because I lose them all the time.
Yeah,
And
I don't blame you.
sometimes
I don't blame you.
I have to cut the end off and make it into a PDR tool to get that one dent out. So I'd rather do that on a cheapo that you get, at the end cap of your favorite hardware store rather than doing it to a good high-end Snap-on tool or Matco or
Got it.
whatnot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go next. My thing is
Hold on, but the pick set, you can get a pick set from Snap-on for $45. So, there you go.
Right. Or you could get it at Harbor Freight for like
$6.
$7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, now I agree with you, Vince. I do have a set of that. I just personally I like to use the spoon set, like called the O-ring removers. I think Dentcraft has a set now for $12. I bought mine from Snap-on, which cost me $40, and it's
You're talking about the Coke spoons.
yeah, exactly. Super thin, and you don't mar any plastic getting those tabs out or anything like that. Those save
Yeah.
me all the freaking time, man.
Love that tool.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's almost like what Vince is saying. Picture a pick set, but flattened out like a spoon or a flat penny. You know what I mean? Super thin, which we'll have you guys. If you guys want to know what the heck we're talking about, go to pdrtooltime.com, look up episode 10, click on that, and you're going to see all our show notes and the tools we're talking about so you guys can, and where we get them, and then you can just go from there and check out what we're talking about. But
Hey, Mikey, and you said that was Snap-on that makes that?
Snap-on makes them, but you can also get them at Dentcraft, who sells them super cheap, and they're good, man. $12, you get a whole set. So that's the last time I checked was $12, but we'll put a post up there. So.
Snap-on sells it for $11.45.
Snap-on?
Yeah.
Shoot, he ripped me off then. I was like, seriously?
I'm on their website right now, man.
$11?
That's what it
Shoot,
says.
I would get it then. For 4 of them. For the whole set.
No, for one.
There
No,
you go.
just for one.
Okay, $40 for the whole set. So they come in different lengths and different bends.
Yeah, I use the smallest one. I don't use the long ones.
So
You know what works well to replace that as well is dental tools. If you ever go to any swap meet, you'll see those guys. They have like every tool in the book, and
That's a good idea.
Dental tools resemble those the spoons that you're talking about.
it's a good idea. Daniel Grom called them Coke spoons.
Yeah.
Excuse me a second.
Call 'em.
Okay. I got a bloody nose here. Hold on a second. John.
John, your turn.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm ready, guys. Woo. Yeah. No,
I could talk about 110 tools.
Something I'm super excited about, and I did do a post on it on PDR Tool Time, is this kick-ass DeWalt impact gun that's like massive. Every time you pull off a wheel, you jack up the car and you pull off a wheel, and I mean, you're just like, boom, the wheel is off, it's out of your way, and it is freaking sweet, and that thing is powerful. Have you guys ever used one of them?
That's your trim tool.
I have a Snap-on.
That is my trim tool because I've been taking off wheels, my friend. Hey, a wheel is R&I. I charge for that.
Hey, I don't think your lug nuts are tight enough. Let me tighten that for you.
One time they're like, son, are you telling me you're charging me $50 to take off this wheel?
Yeah.
I said, it said $50? Like, I normally charge $65. I'm giving you guys a good
There you go. Yeah, you're a salesperson, man. Did I say $50? Man, I meant to say $75, man.
Doggone it. Yeah, I mean, I got to take that wheel off.
Yeah.
It's got to come off, and I got to store it somewhere. I'm talking about storage
and
here.
I got to use my new impact gun, too, man. I got to get it dirty.
Hey, that impact gun's 500 bones. It's a little bit pricey, but I'm telling you, like, just calculate how much your time's worth. I don't know. What is it worth? A couple $100 an hour? $100 an hour? Yeah. Well, you know, you shave off 5 hours in a year, you'll pay for it, and you'll have a bitchin' looking impact gun.
Yeah, I don't go anywhere without one of those, dude. So
how long is the battery life on those? Are you charging it every night?
Well, I don't know. It's worked on at least 10 wheels, and I haven't charged the battery. So
that's a good reference.
We do them plasti dip things to wheels. And so far, actually, we've done 12 sets of them, and I haven't had to charge the battery. It still looks like it's on full go.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Daniel, you're up again.
Okay. Mine next one.
Talk into your mic, sir.
My next one, I'm sorry, is the fender liner tamer removal tool from Ultra. to remove fender liners. And that tool is $28 from Ultra. It is the best tool for taking out fender liners, especially BMWs. If you got a BMW, you know how hard it is to get that liner out.
Mm.
And this tool, you know what I'm talking about? You know what
I
tool
do.
I'm
I
talking
have
about?
one. Yep.
Yeah, that tool is badass. I was telling him I think you should put a little notch in the end of it so you can use it as a clip remover too. Make it do double duty. But that tool is freaking phenomenal for taking out fender liners.
Daniel. Now you're not saying taking them out. You're talking about getting the little
Flipping 'em out.
plastic over the lip, like flipping it out
Yeah,
over the lip.
I'm sorry. Yes, exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
you know, it'd be cool if you could, you talk about notches though, but okay, picture that fender liner tool that Steve makes and making little notches in the like grooves inside there, because you know how sometimes you slip it through and it kind of slides out a little bit, like too far. You want to be able to catch into there. That's the only improvement I would ask for that one.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a badass tool. I mean,
Yeah.
if you guys are doing dents and fenders and you don't have that tool, go out and buy it now. It's the best $28 you'll spend.
Wow,
for
I need
sure.
that.
Now, what?
You don't have it?
Yeah, listen, I use a little. It's like
You
no.
got a guy.
Now get this. No. I had to do it. I had to do it just recently. Anyhow, I use this little. I don't know. It's like a pistol grip flat tool, and I get it up underneath there. But what I like about that is because I got on a freaking Chevy Volt the other day, and all you Dent Trainer members have seen this. It's that white Chevy Volt on my mobile route in the latest video. We've got a lot of people talking about this. A lot of people logged in to watch it. It was all about my mobile route, but this was one of them fender liners that I could barely get, and it almost like bent the edge of the actual fender trying to get this plastic over there, right? So I finally get this, and I mean, I was fighting this thing. It was like a battle with a bear.
You busted out the drill, didn't you?
No. And I had this fender liner just up, and I'm holding it with my tool, and I'm trying to slide my tool that I'm trying to use up underneath there, and it misses, and it slips, and it just falls right back in with ease. It's like one of these fender liners that it takes forever and it's so hard to get out. But then if you just let go of it, it just automatically inserts itself right back in where it was. So it was a battle, but I eventually held it up and far enough and long enough that I could slip my other tool in with this tool as I slid it out and slipped my other tool in, and it was game on after that. So
Okay.
I'm going to give you a little tool hack for that, John.
Awesome.
Have your air wedge close by. So as soon as you get it open, stick an air wedge in there, a couple pumps.
Nice.
And that way, I do that a lot. Because I work. There's quite a few foreign cars where that plastic liner it'll slip right back in. It's like
you know what?
I know.
Yeah.
You know what, Vince?
That is
I don't have one of those airliners. Where do I buy one?
What? Actually, you know what? Tim just made a post. Hold on a second here. I'll tell you where.
You just put a basketball in there.
Tim just sent me a link to that.
You know how many
there.
guys are carrying around a basketball because of the tutorials I put on Dent Trainer because of it?
Two.
No, I get James Lee is carrying around a basketball. I can't even tell you how many people like just messaged me and said, dude, or they would message me a photo of their basketball and their little bike pump because of some of them tutorials.
I'll tell you where right now. You can go to Amazon.com and you can get a whole set for $93, or you can buy individual ones for like $20. So
Of what?
those
Mike?
air wedges.
Do they have any used ones, Mike?
Yeah, you and Vince.
We got 4 used ones.
I'll put this up too, courtesy of Tim Chase. That he's the one that sent me the link for that. So,
Cool.
All
right,
yeah.
who's next?
Is it me?
Vince?
No.
Vince.
Me, I guess. My Snap-on hand drill. I think everyone should have a small little hand drill.
Now you're talking like
R&I on
the little screw gun, right?
little screw gun, yeah. The handheld.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I still have my original Snap-on one, and it's pushing 10 years old. And I don't know. I have 3 batteries for it, and I don't know if they've been talking to Carl Stuckey about their battery technology or what. But I have not replaced these batteries, and they last a long time. And that's my go-to.
They
came up with the updated, and they have the updated one that has a Torx on it in the front where you could adjust the Torx of it. But I have the original one where it's just forward, reverse. That's it. It's a trigger,
Yeah.
forward, reverse, and it's
Like-
small, it's compact, lightweight. You get in and out of vehicles quick with it, and some people have personal preferences of DeWalt and Makita and things like that. But my Snap-on one, that's one Snap-on purchase that I never.
I
have
didn't think
regret.
you'd ever buy anything Snap-on, dude. It cost over $20, dude. So.
Yeah. Well,
You know what? I have to agree with you, Vince. I have the original one, and I just upgraded to the new updated one because I bought the polisher, and they use the
Yeah.
same battery, and I'm in love with it. And I took my original one home, so that's my new home screwdriver, and I have the updated one, and it's badass.
I know I have both of them, so I
Mhm.
love it. The newer one and the polisher and all that good stuff. I got everything. Snap-on, pretty much. I love it. I love Snap-on. But anyhow, so that's a good one, Vince. I didn't even think about that, man.
Your turn there, Mikey.
Oh, my
Mike.
turn?
No, Mike.
Hey,
Mike's
guys.
turn.
Yep.
I'm gonna mute you for a second. I'm switching over to my computer at home. I just pulled it.
We'll let you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll let you
See
mute
you,
us.
dude.
It's your turn, Mikey.
Cha-ching.
You
What do you
put up the same stuff as I put up, man, as I would do. I can't read it though. I don't know what you call them. Those
We're getting
clip-
close. We're not doing 5 of these, are we? We're just
No,
doing
we're just doing what we want.
enough.
No,
Yeah,
what clip
yeah.
the clip
Good,
pullers, the clip ones that you see on
Because I only got one other R&I tool that I
Yeah.
use.
Snap-on.
Only one other. That's it.
The other one, Daniel, that you have that those prong clip pullers.
Oh, yeah, just a regular trim tool remover, right?
Yeah, those things.
Snap-on.
I mean, you got to have that. That's something you can't not be without when
Yeah,
you're going out doing
absolutely.
R&I. I mean, that's
Yeah. And every tool maker makes their own version, and you have to go with your preferences of what you like. Snap-on makes a beautiful one, of course.
you know what I like? I like the Mac Tools makes awesome looking ones.
Yeah, I like the Mac tool one too.
Yeah, Mac
Yeah.
Tools is like legit, and they're cheaper. They're
Yeah.
cheaper and they're nice. Really
I
nice.
agree.
You're a Mac guy, aren't you? You're a Mac tool guy, John.
Oh, yeah, man. I got all kinds of Mac tools. So actually, I usually buy Gear Wrench. So he sells Gear Wrench as well.
Yeah.
And when they roll up, and I mean, Gear Wrench they're nice tools. And if you get like a little box of Gear Wrench, or you get like a 1/4-inch set or whatever, 1/2-inch set, it is like 5 times cheaper than the Mac tools. And they're all fine tooth. They're all lifetime warranty. They're very, very nice tools. So I got a mixture of Mac and Gear Wrench just to because I don't want to spend that much on a set of ratchets. I mean, guys, in all reality, we're not cracking rusty bolts, and we're not under cars with torches torching down rusted bolts and snapping them loose. We don't have to worry about as much as a traditional mechanic. I went for a long time. I was so cheap back in the day, probably because I didn't have any money. But I was I first started doing this, I was like a lot of guys out there, man. I didn't have any money. I was freaking lucky to get gas in my car, and I'm starting out on my own. I'm driving around trying to figure out, how I'm going to get work and stuff like that. Man, I went down to Harbor Freight and bought every freaking ratchet from them. And I started out with that stuff. My dad gave me a little set of Crescent tools that he had out in his garage that he had purchased secondhand off somebody. And that's how I started my tool arsenal. And then little by little started making a little change, started getting a little change in my pocket. And as soon as I got a little change in my pocket, I started upgrading, buying stuff, things like that. But, I still got that. I'm a discriminate spender, man. I'll buy some nice stuff. You guys all know that. But in regards to, I just don't blow money left and right. I think a little bit before I spend, and that's just the way I am. And I believe everybody should be like that. I mean, if you ain't padding your bank account, and you ain't padding your savings account, don't go out and buy a $5,000 toolbox, okay? Because you need that $5,000 in your bank.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I've got a good one, but I'm gonna let you go, Daniel.
So my next one would be, I'm gonna pick YouTube.
YouTube.
YouTube
Oh
is my
yeah,
is
that
my
is a go-to.
trim tool. So YouTube is freaking great. So I was working on a Porsche, had a dent in the rear fender, and it has that little vent system on the side. And the newer version changed a little bit. And so I was unsure about how to remove this thing. Went to YouTube, punched it in, it comes up, and here's this mechanic showing me how to take it off. And he takes duct tape and he duct tapes onto it a little handle so he can pull it. And he had a little secret little slots that you put in your Coke spoon, flip this switch on the clips, and the whole thing slides out. And YouTube has saved me more than once on looking up how to remove trim. The other day I was working on a Ford pickup truck, the rear cab. It was like an extended cab, taking off the door panel. And that was pretty basic, but it showed you where all the screws were. But putting it back on, you had to push this little lever with a big awl before you put the handle back on. And I would have never guessed that. I would have been frustrated. I would have struggled with putting this handle back on if it wasn't for this YouTube video and seeing that you had to push it with a screwdriver and then latch it back on. So YouTube is great for learning how to take off stuff. We've all been there where you're going, okay, how does this one come out? Taking out a tail light, and you don't know if you're supposed to slide it back or just yank on it. You
Yeah.
know?
I think we underestimate how powerful YouTube is to learn something on the fly. I mean, like you said about especially in R&I,
Yeah.
we've all had that. So
Well, you know who's killing it for us is the aftermarket taillight companies
Yeah.
and the aftermarket headlight companies. They make videos on how to swap out their aftermarket products with the OEM products.
oh yeah.
And I don't know how many times we've had to look up to remove a taillight. And a lot of times it may just be a stiff tail light or a headlight that has a bolt somewhere that's hidden.
Yeah.
Hey, we took the headlights off a Mercedes-Benz. You know them old school Mercedes-Benz curved fenders. I forget the make and model,
Yeah.
with the round headlights and all that. Just like Daniel said, got on YouTube, looked it up, and some dude had I'm telling you, a detailed manual on how to remove that bumper. And that bumper is easy to take off. I mean, the bumper literally took 5 minutes to pop off of that Mercedes.
Well, that's what it is. Once you know how to take things off, I mean, and that's to your best benefit too, because people should,
Yeah.
you should really take time, maybe an hour sometimes out of the week, and just kind of look for R&I things that most common cars that you work on, because it's going to be one of those times, especially the imports like the Hondas and Toyotas. They change a little bit, but you want to know how to get those bumpers off quick to get to the rear quarter panel, and that's R&I money that you're going to be billing on top of what your repair is.
Right. Hey, I got something funny to tell you guys. You know them Honda taillights that got the bolts that are underneath the bumper there? They're securely in with three 10 millimeter, 8 millimeter nuts, and you got to take down the bumper corner to get the little bracket that's mounted to the frame.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
guys
yeah.
all know that. We've all dealt with that.
yeah.
Well, one time I'm walking into this hail site that I'm managing, and I see a guy over there with a sawzall, and he's, and I'm like, what is Seth doing? And I'm gonna tell you something. This dude is somebody who would not even he wouldn't even consider drilling holes. He was like an anti-drill guy. And I look over there, and he's got a couple window wedges in that bumper, and he's taking a sawzall and just zipping that thing off. Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I asked him, I was like, what's happening here, Seth? What's going on here, buddy? And he's like, so the next person that takes off this taillight's going to realize somebody smart got in here before him. And I was like, you know what? You're probably right about that. It
Oh my
sounds pretty
gosh.
ferocious, but come on, man. Honda really had to put that bracket down there?
Yeah.
You know why they did that? They were having leaks.
Is that what was happening?
The person who you're trying to reach is currently.
Oh, who's that?
Vince is trying to get in.
Vince. Oh well.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. So anyhow, yeah, I'm not going to disclose the guy's last name, but it was just one of them things that I thought was just kind of funny. So they were actually having leaks around there, and that's why they put that bracket in there. How's that going to prevent a leak?
Yeah, I don't know either. You mean that little tab underneath the thing?
Yeah, it's like a little metal tab that's connected underneath there. It's like totally unnecessary in my opinion. I don't know how it was leaking in there, but to me it seems like something that
It was dumb.
shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, to
Yeah.
begin with.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree
And
with you.
okay. I'm going to go, and I posted this on our PDR Tool Time site, our PDR Tool Time group page. There's Vince. What's up, Vince?
Hey guys, I'm back.
There you are.
there you go.
It's called the Sunix 9726 mini ratchet and bit set. It's a 38 piece. It's small, it's compact. It's by far the most important little set I use when I go do R&I. I have to have this because it's got torque sets in it. It's got a little mini ratchet. It's got a bit holder with magnetic.
Yeah.
It's legit. And guess what it cost? $24.99 on
Did
Amazon.
you get that at Costco?
No, well, they did have one at Costco. They did have one.
Okay.
They don't have them anymore, but maybe they do in some places. But they did have it. But you can get it on Amazon for Prime for $24.99. You can have it in 2 days if you're a Prime guy, and free shipping. But I guarantee you guys will thank me, and you'll be like, "This is the best little badass little mini set, and for the money." So, I've never really had to go beyond this, unless it was some weird thing. But 95% of the time, this gets done what I need to do. So
Nice.
Cool.
Very, very good.
So I've got one last thing to add. A pen flashlight. Actually, I have my pen flashlight is my go-to, but I also had a head, like one of those camping ones, a headlight.
oh
that
yeah
mount-
yeah
yeah, that you can put on your head. And then Snap-on makes one that's magnetic, and you can point it in different directions. But having a light is probably essential. But a pen light is like my first go-to. You can stick, if you wedge open a window, you can stick that pen light down and look what's in that door. But a pen light is crucial.
You know, something interesting there, Daniel, with the pen light. I'll tell you something that I did recently. I had a guy who brought a truck to me, and we fixed one side of the truck, but the other side had a real nasty deep gash. It busted the paint down into the corner. It was on the bottom of a bedside, right there in that curve on the GMCs, right where the bumper, the edge bumper kind of meets the bedside. That curve comes together right there.
Yeah.
That little body line. So the thing is cracked all the way through, and he just wants us to do whatever we can to it, put a little touch up on it. So I'm trying to move this thing. This thing is in so deep, it will not move with anything. I mean, I put a tool in there, flipped it upside down. I mean, it's like a BB hit times a ball bearing. Like if you can imagine the depth of a BB hit, but the size of a ball bearing, this thing. Busted paint, stretch. You could see the metal stretching on the inside of there. So I go up underneath, like James Bond it with one of them magnetic flashlights and connect it to, I don't know whether they're the struts or whatever, the shocks or that, whatever that thing, the leaf spring, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
I was able to put that flashlight on there, the magnetic, and it shined a perfect light on there where I could actually see the contour of the dent. I mean, awesome. It almost reminded me of a fog, the way that it cast upon this inner intrusion. Okay. So I actually took one of my softer plastic knockdowns and went in there and knocked it down, but I couldn't get any swinging momentum with my hammer. So it's like
I
tiny
know.
in there, right? So I'm in there trying to swing, but I can't get no momentum. It's still not working. I go get the 3-pound sledgehammer. Oh, yes. Flip this thing on there, put it right on there like it's a high spot, and just coast that sledgehammer into it. I look around the other side. Yep, got it out. Just tapped it down like a high spot on the inside and flattened that sucker
Nice.
out. Didn't take out any adjacent paint, put a little touch up on it. And but them flashlights were cool on the inside of the panel. They show all the details. If there's like an Audi, it looks like an Audi from the inside, but it's an actual dent, you know.
I swear to God, Snap-on has a new flashlight every week.
Snap-on
Yeah.
does, yes.
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
every week they're we got a new flashlight. Oh great.
$240 just.
Yeah.
Speaking of Snap-on, there's a Dent Wizard technician, or actually, yeah, Dent Wizard. We all know him as Rob Bates. He's no longer a dent technician and is now a tool salesman for Snap-on. He bought a truck.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Really? He's the Snap-on guy now?
Yeah, he's the Snap-on guy. in St.
Oh,
Louis, I believe,
holy
or
crap.
Missouri, somewhere. In
Really?
the state of Missouri.
I was always thinking about that'd be pretty cool to be selling tools for Snap-on. So,
Oh God, no.
You want
why?
to know something?
Why?
Yeah.
Our Matt guy, right? He gives everybody credit. It doesn't matter who you are. He doesn't run a credit check on anybody. He just rolls up to these shops, and anybody, if you just go give him your name and your address, you're on. You're on like Donkey Kong, man. He puts you on. He's like $3,000. It'll be like $40 a week. No interest, anything like that.
Yeah. No.
What's his name though? Tony or Vito? So you
Something
better
like
not cross him.
But yeah.
A
So
Vito.
look though, this guy, I thought about it though, right? Because not everybody's gonna whip $400 or $500 out of their pocket and spend it. Their old ladies that kill them, stuff like that. These are mechanics. This guy has probably $300,000 worth of inventory, and he's probably collecting $20,000 a week from these guys, cash. I mean, he's probably got a heck of a business thing going on. Really.
Yeah, that Snap-on toolbox, that only cost me seriously maybe $60. No, maybe
Right.
$40 a week for the next 1,200 years, dude. So
Yeah.
Hey guys. Now look, I know we're getting ready to move on to another segment, but I want to tell everybody real quick on my last trim tool. That is my glue gun with Walmart glue. For some reason, when trim fits on there loose, you just use that and it fits on perfect. I don't know how it works. It fits on good. You guys ever use that before?
yeah, I've
Yeah.
used that. Yep. Yeah.
No,
A few
never.
times, more than I really want to admit, but yeah.
See,
Well,
now
of
you're
course,
kind of getting into the gray area of my
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're trying to get it. This isn't
we've never
R-
glued anything.
R&I tool. Speaking of mess ups, dude. Okay.
Guys, I was just talking about putting the screws on the end of your screwdriver.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
okay.
When they fall off, I was just talking about putting a tab of glue on there and tabbing it on there. So, well, you guys are hacks. What were you guys talking
Well,
about?
I will talk. I'll talk about my hack. So actually, it wasn't a hack. It's a hack accident. Accident.
Are we getting into tech tips now? Or what?
No. I'm gonna get into my.
Hey, that glue makes good sealant too.
I'm gonna get into one of my horror R&I stories. So, I wouldn't really call it R&I. Really, it's typical what people say, but it turned into an R&I, a bad one. So,
Okay.
I go to this customer's house. A detailer guy. He handles all these high-end people over in Rancho Santa Fe, which is like a Beverly Hills in San Diego, technically. And whose phone is that? Is that my phone?
Yours.
Is that your phone, Byron?
Keep going.
Byron.
Hey, I don't know where that was coming from. Anyhow, so I'm going to go work on a Maybach, and I stick my window wedge in, and I hear this,
Oh.
and I go, "That wasn't what I think it was it?"
Wow, wow, wow.
So I had him roll up the window. I said, "Can you roll up this window, dude, real slow?" He rolls it up, and I see this line going from the edge all the way down. So I take out the ding anyways, and the customer's like, "Are you going to charge me to take out the ding?" I said, "Yeah, I sure am." "Well, you just broke my window." I said, "Yeah, but that window I just called, and it's going to cost me $4,000 to fix that window."
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I got a deal.
$4,000?
$4,000.
You made an insurance claim.
Yeah,
though, right?
yeah. But
Yeah.
but still, they were just trying to.
$4,000?
4,000. Yep. 2,200 for the window itself. Like another $550 for this part. They have to break to get to put it in, so you have to replace the part. Another $450 or $600, $500 on top of that, because it has to be a PDR, or not PDR. It has to be a Maybach certified technician to work on the car. It can't be just any mechanic or any good mechanic. It has to be that type of mechanic.
Oh,
So
wow.
certified tech. So that's what ended up costing me so much. And the customer was upset. And then they made me pay for the rental car. Our insurance company paid for the rental car. They had 10 cars. They said, "No, we were going to use this one." I said, 10. You got, I don't need to be rude here, but you got like 9 cars here. I mean, you can't use one of those. "Oh, no, it's inconvenient. We got to loan this person to this one. We need a rental car." I'm like, I said, "You're going to charge me to take out the dent?" I said, "Of course, but I'm going to pay this much money to have it taken out." I go, to put this back in. I mean, come on, of course I'm going to charge you. What's $200?
Right.
So, anyways, I mean, that was just one of my stories that just turned into a paid
man,
R&I.
that is a nightmare.
Oh yeah. So don't break a Maybach, and be
Okay.
very careful.
Ouch.
Use an
Ouch,
air
ouch,
wedge
ouch.
because it's dual pane thick glass too. It's not your typical glass either. It's some thick stuff, man. So
And I'm sure they didn't have it in stock. So
of course
how
not.
long was
No,
how long was the wait before it came
I
in?
think it took overall like 3 or 4 days. So
Oh,
that's
that's not too
why
bad.
we had to get the rental car. So it's
Jeez.
stupid though, man. But oh well, man.
Ouch,
Alright.
ouch, ouch.
Okay, we moving on to tech tips?
Dun, dun, dun,
Well,
dun.
hold on.
All right, all
I
right.
got a nightmare story.
All right.
I got a quick nightmare story for you guys. So we got this guy, right, who comes to me and he's working our storm. He's an R&I tech, right? And he comes to me and tells me he's an R&I tech. So I sent him to our storm site. And I'm running 2 big deals at the same time. And I didn't have time to go to the storm site that he was working until about 2 weeks later. And I get there and everything's running good. I'm talking to my techs that are there. And one guy, Dusty, he walks up to me and says, "Hey, man, just want to let you know that this R&I guy has been borrowing my glue gun quite often." I mean, like, a couple times a day. And I'm like, really? So I gather up all the technicians. I say, "I just want to let you guys know, you guys are paying this guy. You are his boss, okay? I sent him here to talk to you guys so you could hire him. So if anything comes back, I just want to let you know that you're going to have to collect money from him because he's working for you." And, we have a little bit of talk about it and everybody agrees and this and that. It wasn't like 2 days later, okay? This guy got so bad that one of the body shop owners that we were working with nicknamed him Monkey Dick. And for the rest of the storm, everybody called him Monkey Dick. And to this day, I still remember him as Monkey Dick. And he ended up, they were trying to get, I guess, I wasn't there when this happened, right? But they were trying to get one of them big moon roofs back on one of them Volkswagen Touaregs. And they were sitting there fooling with it and this and that. And I guess Monkey Dick just jumps in there and grabs this thing and with all his might just thrust it back. And all you heard was snap, crack, crackle, pop, and all these clips. And of course, the headliner comes down a little bit. So they're trying to figure out how to get this thing down. They're like, well, let's move the moonroof back. They start clicking the moonroof button and the moonroof gets jammed, right? So they're like, oh no, all them plastic things that broke went in the moonroof track. And so they started trying to move it forward and back and forth. And next thing you know, the whole thing was caught in a jam. They ended up having to take down this headliner and drop down the moonroof and get a little vacuum cleaner in there and start cleaning up all the tracks where this thing had actually started grinding aluminum inside of this moonroof. Well, long story short, luckily the owner of the body shop was a good buddy of mine, and this Volkswagen, right, happened to be a good buddy of his. So we got everything working. We got it put back to a trim guy, got it all put back together. And thank goodness, I mean, he held back their pay on this one. I think it was like he held back like $3,000. It was like a $6,000 hail car before we knew if this thing was going to need a full moonroof and a whole headliner. Well, it ended up it worked good enough to get by, and this guy, his buddy, took it, and he kind of messed up, and we took it back to the trim guy again. The trim guy fixed it. Well, luckily, this guy decides he's going to trade it in, and everybody got off the hook. Everybody got paid for the job. But yeah, so if anybody hears me here and you're driving around a Touareg with a jacked up sunroof, it was Monkey Dick's fault. But that had to have been one of the worst R&I. And you know what? The dude's a good guy. In all honesty, he's a good guy. He was just one of them dudes that he'd R&I'd a few cars, and he really BS'd me about how good he was of an R&I tech. And when he went there, I mean, he was just snack, crackle, pop. He even caught a fire truck on fire.
Yeah. Yeah. God, you don't want to be around.
Yeah. We had to fire him. And the crazy thing is he was always
we had to
packing
fire
heat.
him.
Yeah, he was packing heat all the time, right? And we had this big old elaborate plan going on, like if he got a gun, who was going to get him here, you know what I mean? And this, so we're planning on kicking his ass or something like that if things get out of hand. And but no, he went peacefully. I mean, he just kind of rolled out of there and went peacefully. But yeah, that was my definite R&I horror story right there. And I wasn't there the entire time, but I was kind of caught in the middle because I'm, setting up the whole deal and dealing with the body guys yelling at me, or, He's a good friend of mine, though, so he's not yelling at me. But he's one of them guys that everything's like, F this, F that, And I mean, just his normal talking, he's like, F this, F that, F. And so, yeah, I got to hear that pretty intensely.
Yeah, that's definitely. What's up, Vinny?
I got to say, I don't have too many horror stories with R&I besides the interior break here or the panel break there. And I don't think they're horror stories because I think what everyone has to
understand
is that it's the cost of doing business. Every once in a while,
that's why you're supposed to charge when you do R&I for just in case certain things go wrong. I mean,
absolutely. And if you're doing insurance work, you break something. Well, you
kind of compensate for what that happened.
Well, no, the insurance will pay for it if you break a clip or whatnot.
Exactly.
You supplement for it. If you got an R&I a door panel and it's going through the insurance and you break something on it, well, you know what? It broke because I had to take it off. It happens, and it's just the cost of doing business. And same with breaking the glass. Not a $4,000 Maybach glass, but
that's why you're supposed to have insurance too.
Yeah, I think the main thing, me personally, I love R&I. I love taking things apart and putting them back together.
Real quick. I have even a more expensive one. Just real quick, okay?
Yeah.
I did.
What'd you do? Run a car off a cliff?
No, I was working on a Dutch Spiker. If you guys don't know what a Dutch Spiker is, look it up. Okay, it's an exotic, very high end car. Actually, most of the mechanics tell me it's a piece of crap, but it looks great. So, it's all made out of complete aircraft aluminum. And, anyways, they had a dent in the door, and there was no way to go down the window. The windows were too expensive. So I was like, I'm not going to break this window. There's no way. I go, can you roll up the window? I think I can go right here on this. There's an opening right here in the inside. They go, yeah. So I start pushing on this dent. I'm pushing like my stepdad, man. I'm like, yeah. And I hear this. I'm like, please don't tell me that's what it is, because you know what? These windows are up. There's no way. I look down, and the freaking window it's so deep that it's actually down another foot down below. And I was prying on the window, right?
Ooh.
Guess how much that cost? You don't replace one window. You have to replace them all, because that's how they come in sets.
Oh, no.
$25,000, guys.
What?
Yeah, that's not my word. That's my. I was like, well, there's got to be a bigger one than that. $25,000 for that one.
You got to be kidding me.
No, but this
You're
is what
lying.
saved my butt. I'm not lying. I swear to God. I'm not making this up.
You forgot about it because you chose to burn it
because
out of your memory.
Because it was so bad. It scared me so bad. I want to bring it out of the
You're
depth.
gonna have nightmares about it again.
No,
tonight.
yeah. So, but my dealership was so cool. They were like, Mike, we're going to cover this under warranty. I was like, thank God, dude. Seriously? I go, my insurance company's going to kill me, man. So, but either way, was a nightmare.
You win the cake.
I
Man.
probably broke every exotic window you can think of, because I have balls. I just don't learn my lesson. I just do it the hard way sometimes.
Gosh.
Well,
I've only broke one. I've only broke one my whole career.
I've broken at least 15, 16 windows.
See, mine was a rear glass on a BMW, and I was trying to tap a crown that was in between the glass and the top metal part. It went all the way to the edge, and I was hitting it with my knockdown at an angle. My knockdown slipped and went in between the two panels and exploded the glass.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd say about half of them were just sticking window wedges down on tight windows. So
I've only broken maybe 8 to 10 in 21 years.
Yeah,
And,
that's still good. That's
those
good.
Have pretty much all been double pane, and now I have procedures. I always check. And I always use an air wedge.
Yep.
Yeah,
No.
tight windows.
I've been checking since day one when them things come out, and I heard about them. I checked every one. That's why I've never broken one.
You guys,
I
you guys are
tippy
too
toe
good.
around them
Too
things,
good.
man.
All right, tech tick time.
Well,
Hey,
I do
real
have a
quick.
horror story that might top yours, Mike.
All
Now
right.
that I think of it.
All
I've
right,
never-
okay.
I've-
One
I've-
more horror
Hey,
story.
and guys, before we get into the tech tips, I'd like to mention the people who left us reviews. So we do have 15 reviews now.
15?
We got 15 of them on our PDR tool time, which we love you guys. And I wanted to make mention of everybody who left reviews, like I told everybody that we would. And I've got it open here. So once you're done with the tech tip, I'd like to just make mention of everybody. And I want to ask everybody out there, please leave us some reviews. It helps us, our rankings go up in the organic results inside of iTunes and Stitcher. We appreciate it, guys, and we just love hearing that. I mean, when you guys reach out to us and tell us you think us about this show and you guys like the content, you love something to listen to, that really keeps us motivated, keeps us going, and we just love giving out this content, and we just like hanging with you guys. So leave us a review. We appreciate it.
I just want to say we are going to send Thurman a T-shirt, and we're going to send David White a T-shirt, and we're going to send Vicente a T-shirt because he's
before
actually
we do his horror story, you mean just run through them, Mike?
I'm not going to tell you my horror story. It was going to be an exclusive. I'll save it for a later episode.
Okay, all right, we'll do that because it's getting long here. So
for some reason you got a skull in the background of your video there, but that's good enough.
Yeah, go ahead and name it off.
Okay, so we got Troy Brewer here left a review. We got Dent SP, which is Dan from Dent Specialist. Just a heads up, guys, if you guys want us to name you, just write your name at the bottom of these things. We got Dent Guy 1, which I do think is Dan Ritchie, or from up there in New York. Gene Fetty, Gene Fetty left a review.
Yeah.
We got Vinhawk. Looks like he earned more money by listening to this.
Vinhawk,
we got
that's me.
That's you. Oh God. Okay. Spend your hard-earned money is what it says actually. So, and then now we got John Jagerbaum. Imagine that his last name is named after a pretty popular drink, the Jagerbaum. Red Bull and Jaeger. We got Mr. PSE, which is actually Brandon from Eagle Dent. We got Daryl 1344. He really likes the podcast. Richard R, which I'm pretty sure is
Ralston?
Paul Gordon's Richard.
Richard Ralston, yeah.
Richard Ralston.
Yeah, he's been putting up some cool tech tips on.
Cool videos
PDR
too.
Tooltime Revolution.
And we got the Ding Doctor of MA. And we got Kazar 3388.
Cool.
And we got let me see, EP 1975. I'm naming off these people's handles.
Yeah, put your guys' names there.
Paul Cordon.
He left one?
He left us a review.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
And he's really loving it.
Paul Cordon.
Cordon. No,
Is
it's
it
Cordon.
Oh, French.
Oh, like French? Like the champagne?
Have any of that Grey Cordon. And then, of course, we got Vicente Rios.
Rios from Puerto Rico.
Rios.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico home.
I got to go out there, man.
All right, let's go to Tech Tips.
Dun, 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 dun.
You guys don't see it, but Daniel's sitting here spinning. It's like, come on, guys.
All right, Daniel, go ahead. Go with your tech tip, dude.
Okay, my tech tip is related to trim. So you break a clip, you break something, and you have to glue it back together. And of course, everybody's got super glue. I carry super glue. But the trick is carrying a little box of baking powder. And you glue the clip back together, and then you sprinkle baking powder on it. And it's like aggregate in cement. And you can build up. If you've got a break and you need to build it up, you put a little bit more super glue, put more baking powder on there, and you do it over and over, and you can build it up and reinforce a clip or whatever part you're trying to glue back together with baking soda. Works great.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah,
that is a good idea.
You could buy that. You could buy a kit, but that's all it is sodium.
Yep.
From baking soda.
Yeah, there is a kit. Quick something
Cool.
kit.
All right, here's mine. Mine's more of like a hack little thing though, because sometimes I carry just three plugs. Okay. And one of the plugs are recessed. You guys know that those 1/2-inch recessed ones, which are the best plugs to fit in any kind of contour curve.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if you accidentally drill just one step too big and your plugs none of them fit? You try using tape to go around the thing, but that's not, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Well, what I like to do is I'll take a recessed plug, and what I'll do is I'll snip it right in the middle. Okay. And then so I got a nice cut in the middle. Then I can squeeze the plug to any size I want. And then I put some, silicone or whatever I need to put in there, squeeze, and then plug it right in there. And it fits perfect. Awesome. Fits. and it looks great, and it
So
doesn't look
you
like
only
a hack.
slice through half of it.
Exactly. Then you can bend it and push. You can squeeze it to any size you want, size hole you want, and then put it in. So
Interesting. Good
Nice.
job.
So you only carry 3 plugs, Mike. That'd only get me through half a day, buddy.
I had 3 sizes. Sorry, guys. 3 size. I 1/2 inch, 3/8, and 1/4 inch. That's it. So it's all I carry. Dog. I hate those button ones though. I refuse to buy 1/2 inch flat plugs. They're horrible. I don't know why anybody would want to use them. They just don't fit snug. They're crap. So anyways, that's my tip.
Want my tip?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, my tip is go out and buy yourself a soldering iron. Soldering iron will melt plastic back together. So you could go out and buy the urethane supply company kit that will cost you about $250, $300 and come with all different types of plastic that you could weld the tips back on. Or you could stop at one of your body shops and, like Daniel said in the last episode, cut off a piece of a plastic bumper and have it with you with the soldering iron. That TPO plastic is probably 70 to 80% of the type of plastics that are used out there. And if you break a clip, not a clip, but a clip holder, you could literally plug in the hot glue gun. I'm sorry, the soldering iron, heat it up and melt it and form it back to where it's at. And if you need some more material, you use your plastic bumper to weld more material into it.
Nice.
That's a good tip.
Nice.
Yeah, cool.
So I got 2 quick tips. They're going to be really fast, though, so it's not going to take too long. So the first quick tip that I want to bring up is when you got to use double-face tape, if you guys are a Hale guy and you're replacing some of the plastic moldings on the side or anything that needs double-face tape, if you're replacing, taking off a molding to see a dent and you're applying it back on there, and you use that body shop tape that you would think it would hold, but it just doesn't hold worth a crap, use adhesion promoter.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's what all the body shops are using. You basically it comes with a little bit of brush. It's in a little can. It'll last you like 1,000,000 years. And you spread it down on your tape. And I'm telling you, anything you double face tape, if you use adhesion promoter, you ain't getting it off. It freaking sticks like something
that
else.
works great.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only way to do it. I mean, 3M's got an expensive kind. I've got the kind in a little metal can that you've got to fight to get this can open every time because it glues itself together. So get yourself a big set of pliers when you go to unratchet this can. But I'm telling you, it'll last forever, and it comes with a brush. The second tip that I want to give you guys is if you guys ever have some under the hood clips that always snap and break, and if you're like any other dent guy, we don't have this big drawer full of different fasteners and stuff like that we can snap up a hood liner or something like that. Take your heat gun and heat them up individually. If you get them hot enough, they will not break. So even your most breakable clips out there, I forget, whatever cars, Acuras, Nissans, whatever.
Those
If
brittle
it's got
ones.
a clip in there that's really brittle and prone to break, you heat that sucker up with a heat gun, you can pull it off. You're not going to have to worry about that clip breaking.
You know what, John? You know what I do is every body shop, if you guys go to body shops, all the body shop guys have a drawer of plastic clips. And I'll grab
Daniel
a handful.
steals them.
Oh, no, I ask them. I go,
No,
"Hey,
yeah, I hear you.
and I grab a little bit from everybody, and I have
Yeah.
a drawer now of that, and it's a great resource. Okay, I'm done.
Hey, you guys, you guys listeners out there, don't forget to check out denttrainer.com. We have tons of new tutorials out there. We've got something that John Hiley's actually working on, which you take a ride along with them and he shows you how much he's making. So that's coming out pretty soon. I know that, right, John?
You guys get to look in my pocket.
Yeah.
You guys,
Cool.
you guys get to see what I
I'm
charge
actually
for
doing
dents,
one too, along
how
with
long
you
they
guys.
take me.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. That's cool. That's cool. You guys get to look at how much I charge per dent, how long each dent takes me, and you get a lot of commentary. And I've gotten a big response on this tutorial. I mean, people are messaging me saying, wow, it's cool, man. I can't believe you I think I made $1,169 that day. And it's just giving people a vision to see that, hey, it's
Why can't
possible
you?
to be door dinging and make over $1,000 a day.
Why can't you?
Yeah.
And and that's what I wanted to do. I just want to show people it's possible. You guys can get out there and do it. If you're doing it, great. If you're doing more, even better. I mean, that's awesome. But I'm just trying to build our membership up and let them know that it's something that they can do.
Vince, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, and just to remind everyone, I am picking up the new T-shirts for tomorrow for PDR Tool Time.
I'm coming up there to get mine.
Nice.
So
That would be
Right.
tomorrow for those that are listening in the future. Tomorrow is
Hey,
April 5th.
hey, Vince, did you give me any half shirts?
I got you
That's
two
coming back.
baby dolls. I got you the
That-
baby doll style.
Okay, those are coming back. The half shirts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rock. I'm gonna rock that.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, don't forget to check out denttrainer.com. Go to pdrtooltime.com to check out this episode along with the show notes and the links to all the tools we were talking about. And don't forget MPDR, the new Vice that Daniel Grom's got out. It's freaking bitching. So you guys
And
get into
don't
gas
forget,
tanks.
guys, level up your tools.
You guys,
We're out of here.
We are out of
Join
here.
the revolution. Join the revolution.
See ya.